All right, thanks, Brooke. The alleged bomb maker blows himself up. The lead starts right now. Let's discuss this further. Joining us now, our panel of terrorism experts. CNN national security analyst Julia Kayyem, Daveed Gartenstein-Ross, a senior fellow for the Foundation for Defense of Democracies, and former member of Congress Jane Harman from the House Intelligence Committee, also in charge of the Wilson Center. Thank you all for being with us. Juliet, just over the last few minutes, so many more things have come to light. A lot of these threads starting to come together. The idea that the bomb maker, Najim Lashrawi, blew himself up at the airport. The idea that another one of the bombers left a will saying he was afraid of being caught, and they left behind 40 pounds of explosives unused in the apartment. What does this all tell you?
It all means that last Friday was incredibly significant. The arrest of Abdeslam alive, right? So he's not captured dead. And the suggestions throughout the weekend by Brussels officials that he was not only cooperating, but they were actually using the term collaborating meant, as we read in the suicide note, that they felt that they were about to get caught. Now, these are suicide bombers. They do not care if they die. They care if they're detained, because it means that they will not accomplish what they want to accomplish. So the arrest on Friday sped everything up. And in particular, terrorist groups are organized in different ways, but generally they have an operational wing and they have a technical and more sort of policy substantive wing. You never kill the bomb maker. It's a specialized skill. It must have been very clear to them that they did not have many moves left, and he was willing to sacrifice himself.
Daveed, do you see it like that? You never kill the bomb maker. Juliet was drawing a distinction between suicide bombers, the soldiers on the ground, and the people behind the scenes developing the process to carry out the attacks. If this guy was behind the TAT bombs in Paris, behind these bombs here, that is a sacrifice to that organization to lose him in these attacks.
Yes, I absolutely agree with that. Obviously, he was a skilled bomb maker. His bombs worked in 2 different major terrorist attacks, which not a whole lot of bomb makers out there can say that. So the fact that he did die as a suicide bomber, as far as we know, seems to suggest that really they felt the noose closing in on them just as soon as Abdeslam was picked up by the authorities.
Representative Harman, there is something else now coming to light. The idea that 3 of these attackers from the attacks the other day, the 2 brothers and now Lashrawi, were all known to officials. Lashrawi and one of the Bakrawi brothers, there were red notices on them from Interpol. Ibrahim Bakrawi was deported from Turkey to Belgium, so 3 guys well known to authorities were able to pull off a terror attack. What does that tell you?
Well, let me make 2 points. First, you never kill the bomb maker unless you have more bomb makers. Possibly this guy, who was, as I understand it, mentored by a Brit in Syria named Hamayoun Tariq, was one of a classroom of 8 students who can carry this on. There may be more waves of attack. But on your second point, that's very significant. Retired General John Allen, who was head of the coalition, the effort to form a coalition against the Assad regime and others in ISIS in Syria, said that the criminal element has played a much bigger role in these attacks than we understand. These are not just trained terrorists. These are criminals. And the fact that these people weren't picked up, even though they apparently had rap sheets, as you just reported, shows me that we're not casting the net broadly enough. And if we did, not we, but the Belgians aren't, and if they had, we would have picked these guys up, or certainly investigated these guys and found some really bad stuff.
You never kill the bomb maker unless there are more bomb makers. I want to explore that in a little bit, so guys, stick around. Plus, coming up for us next, now that we know the suspected bomb maker for Brussels and Paris, the bomb maker may be dead, the question is, what did U.S. intelligence know about this suspect and the other suspects beforehand? A member of the House Intelligence Committee who has been briefed, he joins us next.